Welcome to another legal video by Lori Kornblum. I'm an attorney and instructor at MATC in the Paralegal department. Today's topic is going to be how do you write issues in whether-when format. In legal writing, to set the scene, we are always trying to create what are called legal issues, and that is a formal statement of what the case is about or what the situation is about, so that we can frame the situation for the reader. We use two concepts, whether and when. Sometimes you see legal issues called questions presented. This might be in a Court of Appeals brief, for example, but most often they will be seen as issues in a legal memo. Whatever they called, they're all the same. So when we say whether, what do we mean? We mean that is a statement of the law. When we say when, what does that mean? That is a statement of the facts that apply in this particular situation. So let's say we have a case where it's a drunk driving case and the driver has had a blood alcohol content of 0.12 or more. We would then have a legal issue involving drunk driving. So let's see how that would play out. So in this case, let's say the law in your state is that it's prohibited to drive with a blood alcohol content, or BAC, of 0.08 or more. That part will become the whether part. So now we have the facts that Tim drove with a BAC of 0.12. That will be the when part of the issue. So the whether part would read, whether Tim is guilty of drunk driving under our state statute, which prohibits driving with a BAC over 0.08. That's only the whether part because we don't really know anything about Tim's particular case. The factual component would be about our particular case. What was Tim doing? So we are going to say when Tim was driving with a BAC of 0.12. So altogether, you would have a legal issue that has the whether part, which is the law, whether Tim's guilty of violating the state statute, which prohibits driving with a BAC of 0.08 or more, when he, in his particular case, was driving with a BAC of 0.12. Well, what if you change the facts? How does that change your legal issue? What about the case where someone has a blood alcohol content of 0.07 and is overage, 22 years old? And what about the case of Sally, who's got a lower blood alcohol content of 0.07 but is underage? So in Jim's case, we have a change of facts, which is that he is not legally drunk. So we would ask whether Jim is not guilty of violating the state statute that we discussed when he had a BAC of only 0.07. So that's how the changes in facts change your issues. In Sally's case, we would have to adjust the law because we have a change of facts, because she is underage, and the new law says that you can't have driving at all while drinking underage. So you can see this is the legal issue that we come out with here with the whether and the when. So sometimes you see things that really are not issues, such as like, is Tim guilty? Well, you have no frame of reference for that. You don't know the law, you don't know the facts. Should Jim get off? Again, you don't know the law and you don't know the facts. Should Sally have been drinking? That's a value question, not a legal issue. So as you get better at this, you'll work with both your whether and your when statements to become more persuasive. For example, instead of asking whether someone is guilty of violating the statute, you might ask if they're not guilty of violating the statute. You might also look for exceptions to the statute to put in your when section. So in conclusion, remember that a legal issue equals law plus fact. Law is the whether and fact is the when. So whether plus when equals issue.